actually things that don't unlock until you're like level 25 or 26.
Ooh.
That's because prior to Legacy of Romulus, the KDF characters started at that level, and thus, for some reason, they felt that all of the duty officer related stuff needed to be hard coded to that specific level.
Yeah, like
Sounds like the game.
Okay. Well, I'm leaving the team.
Alrighty,
All right,
then.
leave
Well,
the team. I'm
I
going to kick
started
everybody
now.
off the team
Okay.
here. Are you started, Marhawkman?
Yes.
All right, everybody, we're going to go raid Marhawkman show. So let's get that set up here. That's that button over there. That's that button over there, and this button over here. And I hate their new thing.
Which changed or what?
Yeah, Twitch when you're raiding used to make it really easy. No, now we have to know what you're looking for. I used to just...
If all,
All right,
you do
everybody,
is just type in their channel name, it's great and easy. It's when you don't that it's annoying.
Well, I used to be able to just go in and see who's doing Star Trek Online. Easy peasy. Now you
Thanks for letting me tag along. I'll catch you all later. Thank you.
All right. Thank you for being here. We appreciate it. In fact, thank you everyone for being here tonight. We do appreciate it. We hope you had a fun time, and I will see you at 6 tomorrow morning for sure.
You won't
And in the
see
meantime,
me.
no, I won't see you. I know that. Anyway, go give Marhawkman some love. If you're not following him, follow him.
Thank you.
Da, 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 da. All right, so everybody's over visiting you, Marhawkman.
Thank you. Alrighty.
We need the raid. Oh yeah, I've already followed you, so we're good there.
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
going to be doing story stuff, so hey.
Alrighty, I'm out of here. I'm gonna go look. I know we don't have any, but I'm still gonna go. Maybe they will magically appear. One must hope. Take care.
Alrighty.
Yeah.
Bye bye.
Well, I need to buy more duty officers.
Well, that is actually one of those things that's fun about having multiple characters is that unless it's some rare special duty officer that costs millions on the exchange, you can actually just like collect duty officers on multiple characters and then reshuffle them to suit your needs.
Well, what I do is like I'll spend like thousands of dilithium on fleet, and then I go to the fleet, and then I buy the fleet duty officers, and just put them in my, and then just put them in my character.
Okay, fleet duty officers. That is actually one of those things that if you know what you're doing is incredibly useful because you know all of those R&D schools and specializations and stuff. Except for Aegis, you can actually just get all of those from the K-13 duty officer store. Because all of those duty officers in the K-13 duty officer store with all of their weird powers, all of those have R&D specialization, and they actually have the full gamut of them. Doesn't tell you that when you're looking at them in the store, but that's how it works. Why on earth they didn't make the UI for duty officers actually show you those, I have no idea. Ah, boy. The best thing about the K-13 duty officers is them having R&D traits and being ultra rare, because it means that your R&D projects go quite nicely.
Yeah, I don't need anything special for this, so I just get what I need.
Communications arrays. Going to need more of those. Yeah, this is a new character, so I decided to go and do some of the exploration cluster duty officer missions. Which is something that's I haven't bothered with for a long time, honestly. However, it's the quickest way to rank up colonial experience for duty officer stuff because the different categories in Doff XP are all meant to come from different sources, although realistically most of it's duty officer missions. It's different kinds of duty officer missions you get from going to different places. So the idea goes anyways. Recruiting is mostly go to Starfleet Academy and acquire DOFs at Starfleet Academy. That's the easiest one anyways. There's others that are hard to find, one of which is actually collecting bridge officers, which there's several different bridge officer recruiting assignments you can find if you know where to find them.
All I want is just I want to be able to get 100 duty officers just to get a few missions out of the way. Deal.
I would
to make
actually personally recommend getting at least one tier of duty officer roster upgrade on all of your characters. It's like, I personally find that being limited to only 100 duty officers is highly limited in actually doing stuff with duty officers.
But when you're limited on Zen like me, I can't do that.
Yeah, well, I mean, like, most of my characters, I actually paid for that with my stipend from being LTS. Now, I need to double check, make sure I'm locked onto Bitreka. I genuinely have no idea how that's supposed to be pronounced, so I call it Bitreka.
How do you spell it?
Betreka.
Oh, okay.
Oh, they have a Admiralty mission, Admiralty ship at K-13.
Yeah. Yeah, that's one of those things that they added at some point because they wanted to give people a way to burn fleet credits or something. I don't remember the exact specifics. Oh, this assignment needs... Okay, it needs a lot of science, but it also needs a lot of tack. You know, shockingly enough, one of the best uses for event ships in Star Trek Online is actually duty officer stuff, because simply having a giant number of ships, even if they're things you don't fly on a regular basis, helps a lot. Ah, boy. See what that one does. No, I need something with a better science rating than that. Ah, screw it. I'll just throw in a third ship. Not that one. Oh, wait. God. I replaced it instead of adding in a third one. There, that works. Like, there's a whole bunch of weird secrets in the duty officer system, and the sector space revamp made the whole thing a lot worse. Why? Because edge doffing. New players to the game probably have no idea what I mean by that, and that sucks a lot. Because it means that functionally the entirety of the duty officer system in sector space is broken in a way that means that you have to know a specific workaround in order to get it to work for more than a handful of basic tasks. I hate that. It's part of the reason why I feel like talking about it so much is because the fact that I know how much of a pain in the ass it is compared to the way things used to be, and telling other people how to make it work is, I feel like, a public service. Oh well.
I remember the original Deep Space missions.
Oh yeah, that's another thing that's interesting. Because like one of the things that most of the players didn't know about them is that they had a boss ship that would spawn after the main encounter was over with. You had to know where to look for the boss ship, and it didn't mark it on the map. And if I remember right, they actually did have accolades related to finding the boss ships. Oh boy.
I wonder if I have any of those. Because I still have some of the accolades they removed
Well, see, it's not that they
from
removed the
earning.
accolades.
They
It's
they removed them from being earned.
yeah, it's like they made it so that that the ability to acquire them is no longer there. I did, however, find out that certain of the accolades are actually achievable if you know what you're doing and the right way to break the game. Like, you know the old general crafting skill accolades? Last time I checked, there was in fact one way that I personally know of to actually get those still. This being
As
to
well.
screw around on Defera. Why? Because the weird Defera's anti-Borg junk was tied into the general crafting skill. So when they revamped R&D, they just completely rearranged how all of the Defera crafting worked. They didn't want to get rid of it completely, so they just like made it so that it doesn't need general crafting skill anymore. Or give you general crafting skill. What they forgot is that some of the Defera daily missions are tied into the Defera R&D and would actually still give you the general crafting skill for completing some of the missions.
Tell me if you remember this mission. Kittimer Crisis.
Sounds familiar.
It was the original tutorial.
Ah, yes. The one where you wander around the surface of a Borg-infested planet shooting Borg at level 1.
Yeah.
One of the screwiest bugs in the game was when they first introduced the ability to replay missions to the game. They actually gave you the ability to replay that one. It doesn't have a starting door. So good luck actually getting it to work. But you could go and click the replay button on it. Obviously, they completely changed that because that was, you know, the old tutorial from way back when. And that tutorial isn't even playable anymore. Some of the missions, you genuinely, you know, if you had them in your roster, you can't do anything with them anymore. Because they just got removed from your active mission list. That actually used to be a weird workaround, because like there were certain things back in the day where if you had the mission still in your journal, you could share it with other people, even though the mission wasn't normally acceptable.
Yeah, that kind of reminds me. We got used wanted for a while before it became a patrol to level up ships, and that's kind of a few people didn't have it because I already